Test one. Test one.
Are they going to stay on?
Test one. Test one. That's 10.
Check the levels on them.
Test one.
Nope, it's muted from the board. Good. But it's on there? Yeah. Stand for the national anthem. Our state's standing for the honor. He's wearing those. Handing it off to Ryan more, but like
Good evening. Please find your seats. The ceremony will begin when the students line up under the arch behind the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, students, you can start with your class advisors. Just walk down. Ceremony will begin when they hit the archway, so we're still good if you're finding your seat. Go ahead, bring them in. There we go. Once they hit the archway, then the music will begin.
Welcome to the commencement exercises for the class of 2024. At this time, we ask that you silence your cell phones. When the students enter the arch, we ask that you stand for the processional and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem and the alma mater.
dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, we're from dear old Newton, the school to us most dear. It's the place we love the best, finest school in east or west, so we will hail the name we all revere. We love our alma mater, of her glories we will tell. In everything we take the lead, sport and thought and noble deed, and so for Newton we will give our yell. So here's to old Newton, loud we will sing. We'll tell her praises true to you, in every land they'll ring. Then here's to old Newton, school we love best, till every purpose be fulfilled in NHS.
Good evening, friends and family, and welcome to the 2024 Newton High School Commencement Ceremony. My name is Mackenzie Janung, and I'm the president of the class of 2024. I am so happy on behalf of my class to thank each and every one of you for celebrating with us. Your guidance and support have left an indelible mark on who we are, who we were, and who we will become. Tonight's ceremony is unique because for almost all of us, this is our first actual commencement. 4 years ago, we could only watch our 8th grade graduation from our living rooms on a YouTube video. Parents, I'm sure you would agree that watching names flash across the screen does not even begin to compare to the energy and emotion on our field tonight. Over the past 2 weeks, we've had the opportunity to be a class together. We've danced at prom, stuffed teddy bears, rode roller coasters, signed yearbooks, and watched the sunset from this very field. All of these moments were chances to celebrate us, to celebrate the achievements that bring us together tonight. And now, we share in this ceremony. We share our excitement, our joy, and the bittersweet feeling of saying goodbye. However, while tonight may be the first time we are called to a podium to celebrate our efforts and our accomplishments, it will certainly not be the last opportunity for the members of the class of 24 to share our achievements. Thank you. At this time, it is my honor to welcome our first speaker, Jocelyn Reynolds. $1,049,088 pixels on a low-resolution Chromebook screen stare back at me, red, green, and blue. Red as my eyes burn, a numb surge of blurry vision. Green as the leaves on branches we didn't get to climb together. Blue, the raging tsunami that tore us away from all that we knew. Pixels on a screen that we graduated on. 8th grade, a celebration that we didn't get to see in person. Freshman year, we met those pixels again and talked to faces that weren't really there, people who seemed worlds away. A pandemic that tried to take our journey away from us. Yet, the beautiful thing about this class is not just that we endured the unthinkable, but rather that we dusted ourselves off and got to work. When it appeared that we were torn at the seams and our normalcy lost, we did not lose our ability to dream. In our time here at Newton High School, we have imagined, designed, and taken action. This class has either created or reinstated numerous extracurricular clubs. In order to harbor a more welcoming environment for all Braves, we initiated the implementation of the United Minorities of Joint Alliances Club. With many of my classmates continuing their studies in the medical field next year, the NHS Healthcare Club was designed to support their desire to help, heal, and save. To provide peer guidance, assistance, to younger students in academic enrichment classes, we initiated a peer support group. The compassion of this class is something to be proud of. Seated behind me is a group of individuals who have accomplished much in their short time here. We are engineers. Members of the class of 2024 led the robotics team to an astonishing district championship. We are musicians. Sitting here are students who were honorably selected for the Sussex County Choir, the New Jersey All-State Choir, and the Sussex County Band. We are business people. Many FBLA participants placed at the state level at this year's NJ FBLA State Leadership Conference. We are influential. Members of this class played crucial roles in leading the mock trial team to 3 county championships during our 4 years here. We are agrarians. Our senior FFA team members scored bronze, silver, and gold medals at this year's National FFA Convention. We are scientists. A number of our accomplished science students recently traveled to our 3 district schools to host a science fair for the elementary school students. We are multilingual. 6 members of the class of 2024 are first-generation ELL students, an accomplishment to be celebrated. A esos miembros los felicito. We are athletes. 108 seniors received varsity letters in their sports this year, many earning divisional, regional, state, and academic recognitions in their sports. We are accomplished. Just 12 days ago at our senior awards ceremony, this class amassed $197,990 in scholarship money towards our future plans, proving that we are both determined in the classroom and on the field. When I look to the future, I see hope. With our unique talents combined, we will move mountains together. We are strong, we are important, and we are brave. We don't just think. We create, and we do. We take action, and we make an impact. All of us will continue to change the world, no matter where our journeys take us after we leave this stage tonight. When given the opportunity, we help, we teach, we dream. Because taking initiative and doing what is right, not what is easy, is what will bring color to a life once defined by the 1,049,088 red, green, and blue pixels on a screen. Today, we close those screens that disconnected us in ways that our NHS class has fought so hard to reconnect.
Today, we move to a world where we begin to write our own color-filled stories. To the class of 2024, congratulations, and thank you. Be brave.
Normally, I'm a little afraid of clouds on graduation day, but today they seem to be a little bit of a respite from the heat. All right. Here's something that I learned recently. Newton High School's first commencement ceremony took place in 1871. That is amazing to me. Our district has been around for 153 years. So 153 years ago, I can't imagine what it looked like. You know, did they ride horseback? And the high school was over at Halstead at that time. Ride on horseback, maybe a handful of people to watch a couple of kids celebrate the accomplishments of, couldn't have been more than a handful. And now here we are, same town, same thing, celebrating the accomplishments of quite a few kids. I assume nobody came on horseback, and and I'm sure they didn't have to park a half a mile away like many of us did today. But that's I tell you that so because I want you to understand the tradition that we have. Graduation is something that we hold dear. It's we strive to make it something that befits the students' accomplishments. So we time things. Today we only had 2 practices, or we have 2 typically. This year we had 1, so if we're a little rusty, that's why. But this group is probably going to nail it and get it all. But I want you to be aware that we really, really value this ceremony, and you are all part of it now. So 153 years ago, you are the now a part of that long tradition. You are the audience of 2024. So thank you for taking part in our traditions. Thank you for helping us honor those traditions. There's going to be times in this ceremony where we ask you to just give it up for the kids in every way you know how. There's going to be other times in the ceremony where we ask you to sit quietly and respectfully so we can hear every student's name called as clearly as it can be. So thank you for taking part in it. Thank you for joining us today and taking part in the tradition that we hold so dear. The next thing is I'd like you to ask you to join me as we recognize a member of our community who isn't with us today. 7 weeks ago, we lost Matthew Knack, who was our school psychologist, unexpectedly. While that loss is excruciating, we're encouraged by the memory of his work and his dedication to the kids. So I'd like to let's have a moment of silence to recognize the memory and the contribution of Matthew Knack. Thank you. Okay. In addition to our graduates, we have 3 people retiring today. Not today exactly, but 3 people retiring. First is Neil Kozlowski. Neil retired earlier in the year, and I don't know if Neil is with the staff or the parents today because he could be with either because his son Kevin is sitting behind me. So Neil came to us in 2004, and I usually stay away from sports metaphors, but I think Neil's a sports guy, so I hope he appreciates this one. For the last couple years of his career with us, Neil was what we would call a utility player. In baseball or softball, a utility player is somebody that you can count on to play wherever you need them. You need somebody in the field, that person can do it. You need somebody in the infield, that person can do that. Neil filled that role for us for the last couple of years he was here. In the last 2 years, he taught a variety of different mathematics classes. He taught independent living, financial literacy, and last year helped us out with by teaching social studies for the latter part of the year. If you're a teacher, you know what that means. If you're not, trust me when I tell you, that's an awful lot to take in for a couple of years. So we really appreciate what Neil did for us, and I can tell you with 100% certainty, he never complained, and every single day he walked in the classroom, he gave the kids all that he had. So let's show our appreciation for Neil Kozlowski. Neil, where are you? Would you stand up? There he is. All right. Also retiring earlier in the year, Glenn Parker. Glenn came to us in 1998, and he was actually in my office last week, and we talked for a long time about the power that teachers have and the awesome responsibility that we have as educators. And where we kept focusing that attention, it kept circling back to was the relationship that you develop with kids. And Glenn Parker is among the best I've ever seen at developing that relationship. His kids care for him, they love him, and the reason they do is because they know that he cares for them and he loves them. One of the other things we discussed was for a lot of years he'd have students come back, and they graduate, so they're alumni, they come back, they talk to the classes, give them the insights of their experiences, and that people don't have time for that. Kids come back because they love Glenn Parker, they respect what he did for them as a teacher, and they want to be a part of it moving forward. So we're really sorry to see him go, but we appreciate everything he did for us when he was here. Where's Mr. Parker today? Glenn Parker is somewhere, because I saw him. There he is, got him. Over on the track. All right, the last person, yours truly. I came to Newton in 1995. I was a student way before that, but also right here in Newton. I actually grew up just right over there, just a few blocks from this spot. And I can tell you with I don't remember a time in my life where I wanted to be anything but a teacher. And I never considered doing that anywhere here but Newton. Why? Why Newton? Why so many years? You're looking at it right there. Because I get the opportunity to work with them. I get the opportunity to work with them. And I had the opportunity to work with a lot of you. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, next up, we are very proud to recognize the seniors who have chosen to serve our country by joining the armed forces. We're grateful for those men and women who protect our freedoms around the world and proud of our seniors who have chosen this career path. Seniors, please stand when I call your name and remain standing. Matthew Teets, Coast Guard. Joseph Galante, Army. Derek Carrion, Marines. As our seniors continue to stand, I invite all of the veterans and active members of the military who are with us tonight to stand and allow us to show you our appreciation. If you're in the audience, please stand. All right. I would like to invite Jocelyn Reynolds and Henry Fung to the podium, please. Along with them, please welcome Teresa Howe and Lisa Casamessina. They're going to bestow these medals for valedictorian and salutatorian. Okay, stand right here for me. Good. Wait for John. All right. Mrs. Casamessina will present the medal for salutatorian to the second highest ranking student in the class, Henry Fung. Will Henry's parents please stand? Okay. Mrs. Howe will now present the medal for valedictorian to the top-ranking student in the class, Jocelyn Reynolds. Will Jocelyn's parents please stand? One more round of applause for these two, please. All right, back to your seats. Good job. Please welcome Eliza Holteman to the podium.
I have never once done something entirely on my own. It always takes a village, or teacher, or friend. I have never once done something entirely on my own. I always seek guidance from a person, or the voice of truth inside my head. And that voice is not foreign. It is just my clever conscience, telling me that I should keep going, even in deafening silence. For when the hit of judgment leaves you gasping for air, you should get back on your feet and prove it is a blow that you can bear. And I have never once done something entirely on my own. But we know what it's like to be alone and to feel apart from the rest of the world. For loneliness, the quiet beast, can be so silent that its attack only takes a moment. And loneliness, that insatiable beast, can be so loud that in its rumble we can drown. But at this point, we've blocked out the noise and learned to swim against the tide. It's not so hard to take back your life with even one friend by your side. So when I'm told to speak on initiative, I can breathe in and out, knowing my whole life has been a pursuit of making each step that I take count. We have initiative which brews in our bodies and does not give in to the abuse of any person. We have initiative which lets us soar above the clouds of deceit, of self-doubt which worsens. My head was in the game of life before it even started. A baby born to take her dreams and refuse for them to be thwarted. A child young enough to cry, but tough enough to say, I will not let it hurt me. A teenager denying the social norm and taking the blows so that all can be free. And now, we're young adults, alive, rising to the challenge. For 18 years may seem small now, but just wait until we make it massive. And I have never once done something entirely on my own, because my beautiful blossoming mind will be by my side forever. And you should never have to do anything entirely on your own. You can find your village, find yourself, and always find a friend. Thank you. Now I'd like to welcome up to the podium our next speaker, Megan Henry.
Good evening. After 4 long, hard years of blood, sweat, and a surprising amount of state testing, we're finally here. I want to take a moment and thank everyone for coming out today and celebrating this momentous occasion with us. Now, I know you all are gathered here waiting for me to give this long-winded speech that's supposed to inspire my peers and encourage them to be the leaders of tomorrow. But before I start with any of that, I want to first share with you a quote that I admire. And it goes like this: "Life is like a game of cards. The hand you are dealt is determinism, and the way you play it is free will." A lot of things stand out to me in that quote, but oddly enough, I'm drawn to that one almost commonplace word, game. Now, I love games. I always have. In fact, when I was younger, I spent hours of my free time playing The Sims. I know. I'm sure you've heard of it before. If you haven't, well, you're missing out. But it's okay, I'll give you a quick explanation. The Sims is a virtual simulation game that allows you, the player, to create an avatar and then essentially run their whole life. So like their jobs, their relationships, their outfits, and I was in love with this game. what I think I liked most about The Sims was the overall sense of power I had over my avatar. There was no sort of tragedy that could put me off track, no obstacles or circumstances, or even responsibilities to worry about. I had complete control. The same, however, couldn't be said for real life. You see, real life wasn't as black and white as it was in The Sims. It was ambiguous and unpredictable. It brought COVID-19 and remote learning our freshman and sophomore years, as well as other unforeseen worries like college decisions and academic pressures, and learning to navigate our sense of self as we grew from naive freshmen to experienced young adults. Real life didn't have that comforting sense of autonomy that you could feel when playing a video game. No cheat codes, reset buttons, or even rewind switches when things went wrong. Hence, I often believe that we as humans had little to no control over our lives. For a good while of my childhood and even some of my high school years, I held on to this crippling notion, and I know I'm not the only one. I made excuses for my complacency by blaming it on the uncontrollable nature of life. Opportunities would come without my grabbing hold of them, and when they were gone, I was left with nothing but that vacant feeling of what if. And I never blamed myself as I should have. I blamed life. See, I thought that if life was this supposed game of cards, then maybe some of us are just dealt an unfair hand, right? Obviously, this notion was flawed, as well as my perspective, and all it took was a little initiative and a little more courage to realize that though we might not have complete control over our lives, we have something so much more important. We have free will. I'm here today to tell you that we determine our successes and we determine our failures. So we can't sit around idly waiting for change to come, for success to just fall out of the sky. No, we have to see it, to work towards it, and then we have to earn it. And it's not going to be easy, but you can make it happen. Class of 2024, as we enter college and beyond, don't let opportunities pass you by. Don't let your chance of success be clouded by fear. And most importantly, remember to lean on your support system. As I've grown older, I've learned to trust in God, my family, and my friends, and I thank all of them for helping me become the person I am today. If you would ask me as a child if I ever would have the courage to give a speech at my high school graduation, I probably would have laughed in your face. But now look, me standing here giving this speech is an example of taking an opportunity I otherwise would have been too scared to accept, and I ask all of you to do the same. Recognize the potential that you have, the potential that we all have. Graduates, the future is ours, and our path to success is undeniable. Today is only the first step, but you and you alone decide if you want to keep moving forward. You decide if you want to win this game called life. Thank you.
I've tried to figure out a way that I can structure this thing so I don't have to follow the kids when they speak. For obvious reasons, they're really, really talented, but I haven't been able to do it, so this is how we're going to have to go. Okay. All right. Before I start, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our parents. You are our students' first teachers and their strongest advocates, and if you don't mind, I'd like to take a second, ask you to stand up so our graduates can show their appreciation. Thank you. All right, yesterday, Mrs. Waldron and I were having lunch at the house, and she said, don't forget the 3 B's of every brilliant principal's speech at graduation. And I asked her what they were. She said, be clear, be concise, and then be seated, because they're not here to talk to you. So I'm going to take that advice. I'm going to be as clear and concise as I can be, but I do have a few things I want to share with the kids. The world we live in is changing faster, it seems to me, every year. It's absolutely amazing how quickly it moves. As educators, we ask ourselves all the time, we've been asking ourselves this for years, how do we educate kids today for jobs that haven't even been invented yet? It's an impossible task. So really what we're asking ourselves is what skills do our kids need? And now with the onset of artificial intelligence, AI, if you're watching that, that is absolutely changing the landscape of the world, of every aspect of the world, in ways that we haven't seen in 100+ years. So how quickly the world is going to change for them behind me is amazing to me, and it's a little scary for me. They'll be fine, but I'm a little bit nervous about it. So what I did was I came up with a list of things that I hope that our graduates maintain as they move into whatever it is that they're doing for training when they leave here, and whatever it is that they wind up doing as careers, because we don't know what skills they're going to need. It's impossible to tell. The world's going to change so fast, we just can't tell. So these few things I think are going to be important for them no matter what they do and no matter where they go. Oh, mind you, this is not research-based. This is just my observations, so take it or leave it. It's up to you. But this is what my years of education and my knowledge of the people behind me tells me. All right. I broke it down into 2 things, assets and obstacles. I have 3 assets, 3 things I think our kids can focus on. One is curiosity. Curiosity drives us to ask questions, to seek knowledge, and to explore the unknown. It's our curiosity that fuels our lifelong learning. As the world changes, it's going to be their curiosity that remains the same, because the technical skills that they learn are going to change. They're not going to be constant. But if they're continuously curious, they can ask questions. How does this work? Why does this work? And they can stay ahead of those changes, or at least keep pace with them. The second thing I'm almost certain our students are going to need is determination. Everything in the world that's worthwhile is hard. Spare none. There are no exceptions. We have to work hard. We have to overcome obstacles at everything we do that's of value. I have a plaque on my wall that Mr. Hashway's daughter made me when she was in middle school. And I love the saying. It says, winners are not those who never lose, but those who never quit. And I try to carry that into every aspect of my life, because when you hit those obstacles, you can view that as a loss. But if you stay forward, you stay the path, and you continue with your determination, you keep at it until you overcome those obstacles. The last thing I'm certain our students are going to need is adaptability. They are going to need to learn, unlearn, and relearn more things than anyone before them. They are going to have to embrace change in ways that none of us ever have. And how many times have you heard the saying, people hate change? They can't afford that luxury. They're going to keep pace with the world. They're going to have to embrace the change. Question it and use their determination to stay on top of it, but absolutely going to have to learn to embrace change. All right, those are my assets. The obstacles are based, not just my view of the world, the obstacles are my view of the Newton High School class of 2024. Now, give me a second with this before you judge. The first obstacle to our students' otherwise talented student success is this thing. Now, I am a lover. I am absolutely believe that this is the most powerful tool. If I had something like this when I was younger, well, I'd probably be the same. But I would have had the potential to do great things with something like this. However, it is also has the potential for the greatest distraction that I've ever seen. You can take people, whether they're kids or people my age, it doesn't matter. And they can be otherwise driven, successful people, and if they get caught up in not using this thing wisely, it will absolutely going to be their undoing. It can be their greatest adversary, or it can be their greatest ally. How they use it is entirely up to them, and I really hope that they figure out how to use it well. Most of them have. Most of them have. But it takes a lot of effort because most of us sitting out in the audience didn't grow up with this thing at the end of our fingertips. It's easier for us to put it down than it is for them. But they're absolutely going to have to learn that. So this is obstacle number 1. Obstacle number 2, I'd put as drama. And that's, so for the adults, it's conflict. We have conflict. Kids call it drama. And for our students who think that when you graduate high school that drama goes away, it does not. It does not. Professional conflict stays with us. What happens is that we learn to deal with it. We learn to have the emotional intelligence to deal with things like that so that 2 things don't happen, or one does, one doesn't. First thing that has to happen is I learn to control my own emotions. The second thing, and arguably more important, is I learn not to let other people's actions drive my actions. Somebody does this, so I have to do that. That's going to be an undoing. Those are the 2 things that I think can stand in the way of the group of students behind me and students everywhere, frankly, because the world they live in is much more challenging than the world I grew up in. There's no way I could survive it. I didn't have the skills that they have. So I'm really excited for what they can do. I hope they hang on to those 3 assets that we talked about, their curiosity, their determination, and their adaptability, and they learn how to figure out those other 2, and I guarantee you the world is ready for what the kids behind me have to bring to them. So congratulations to the Newton High School class of 2024. Is that fast enough, Mrs. Waldron? I got a sideways thumbs. All right. I did lose my place. All right. Ready, seniors? Here we go. Here's your cue. Dr. Piccarello, I certify that the students before you has successfully met all of the graduation requirements set by the state of New Jersey for an accredited high school. It is my honor to present to you the Newton High School graduating class of 2024. Ready, eyes on me. Here we go. And
friends, families, fellow educators, members of the Greene, Andover, and Newton Boards of Education, and of course, our students, it is my great pleasure to speak before you today and to celebrate the Newton High School class of 2024. Please join me in a round of applause for our graduating Braves. So you've each spent 740 days as high school students. And over the past many days, you've probably spent quite a bit of time reflecting upon how it's all coming to an end. It is the end, after all, isn't it? I mean, you had your last day of school. You'll soon receive your final transcript. And schools all across the country just had a week of final exams. What better sends a message of finality like the constant use of the word final and end? I mean, words are important. They do much to shed light on our events, actions, and perspectives. And so then why isn't today called the final event or the closing ceremonies like it was the Olympics? I mean, it's too hot to imagine a torch here, but that would be fun, right? Or maybe we could call tonight's ceremony, and you're welcome in advance for the song being in your head for the rest of the night, but the final countdown. Da-da-dun-dun, da-da-dun-dun. No? No one? Okay. No Europe fans here. Okay, fine. But seriously, it isn't called the closing ceremony or the final event or, unfortunately for me, the final countdown. No, today we find ourselves at the commencement ceremony. How strange. How completely bizarre that today we would celebrate the incredible accomplishments of these young scholars by way of highlighting that this is in fact not the end, but the beginning. The word commencement comes from the Latin root commovere, which means to start or begin. Your commencement today does not signify an ending at all, but rather a new start to a next adventure of your lives. And to stay on the Latin kick for a second here, and there'll be Greek later, so just buckle up. One of my truly favorite phrases is nunc cepi, which means now I begin. So say it with me so you get used to it off your tongue, because you're going to hear it a couple times. Nunc cepi. Nice. Way to go. So I first saw it attributed to Bruno Lanteri. He said, "Do not keep stopping to look back, because he who looks back cannot hasten forward." And so he said, say with confidence, nunc cepi, now I begin. Now, I remember first reading this and taking great comfort in it, because no matter the context, it just always seems to fit. If you had a terrible day, acted in a way you regret, and didn't live up to your own expectations, well, every moment is a new opportunity. Pick yourself up, nunc cepi. And if you fail the test, had a broken relationship, or experienced the loss of a loved one, you can still begin again, nunc cepi. And if you just accomplished a great feat, the same message is also important. Don't be content, arrogant, complacent, and stay where you are. Push forward. Begin again. Nunc cepi. We often think of this type of thing around New Year's, when many of us, myself included, make New Year's resolutions, which we probably don't keep. But Bruno Lanteri said, do not content yourself with beginning this year. Begin every day and in each hour of the day. And so doing this sets into motion a constant process of becoming, which helps us to focus on directing all that we do, each moment of our lives, each action, and each word that leaves our mouth toward becoming the best we can be for ourselves and for others. So in fact, this constant process of becoming moves us ultimately toward the end, which actually matters, our telos, which is the Greek word which means an end, in concert and fitting with our nature, our calling, and our purpose. It is the root from which comes the word teleology. But today is not about ends, it's about beginnings, nunc cepi. So, I had since seen nunc cepi used by the former NFL quarterback Phillip Rivers. Believe it or not, he used to wear a hat during press conferences that read nunc cepi. He would say if he threw a touchdown, nunc cepi. If he threw an interception, nunc cepi. For Rivers, he was always defined by his next action. It motivated him and also prevented him from becoming discouraged when a task seemed too daunting. For example, coming back from a large deficit in the fourth quarter, which might seem impossibly unattainable, is attainable if you just make the next pass and continue to gain as many yards on each play. You do this again, you begin again, you begin again, and you begin again, nunc cepi. Every single moment offers the opportunity to begin anew, to make a fresh choice, to strengthen your character, to grow in virtue, and to become better than you were before. The culmination of your high school years has prepared you to embark on new journeys, whether that be in college, career, military service, or whatever bold path you choose next. Perhaps no one knows better the feeling of staring directly at the unknown and a new beginning than our high school principal, Mr. Waldron, who will be retiring this month after a proud career of dedicated service to the district. I want to sincerely thank you, Mr. Waldron, for your lifetime of selfless leadership and commitment to the education of generations of Newtonians, and for reminding us that it's always a great day to be a brave. As you begin this next chapter of retirement, may it be filled with fulfillment, relaxation, and well-earned joys, and I'm sure it will also include some time outdoors and quite a bit of hiking. We wish you all the best and many happy trails, nunc cepi. And yes, and graduates, In the spirit of new beginnings and hiking adventures, I encourage you to embrace the mindset that adventures never truly end, but continually unfold into new beginnings ripe with possibility. The great philosopher Bilbo Baggins once said, "Don't adventures ever have an end? I suppose not. Someone else always has to carry on in the story." Your stories begin today, and the story of Newton High School will begin again and continue on for next year's students, teachers, and administrators, and for many yet to come. In the years ahead, you will face innumerable forks in the road, moments that will test your judgment and conviction. Now, believe it or not, I'm not normally one to take advice from Disney movies, although I did quote Lilo and Stitch at the 8th grade promotion, and I did just quote A Hobbit, and so I'm not sure where that leaves me. But in Frozen 2, Anna famously sings that when in doubt, do the next right thing. So therefore, always strive to take the highest path, for we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. And for your peace of mind, the last quote was not a Disney character or a creature from Middle-earth. That was Aristotle. So construct habits of virtue, discipline your minds, strengthen your character through right choices day by day. That is, after all, what we're called to do, nunc cepi. Life seldom follows a straight line, but courses through twists, turns, starts, and pauses. But whether it stops depends a lot on you. You can always begin again, nunc cepi. It's a dangerous business, Frodo, getting out of your door, said Bilbo. You step onto the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to. Yet with open eyes, resilient spirits, and virtuous habits, you can greet each new beginning as an opportunity to grow, to serve, and to author your exceptional life stories and to take you to your telos. So congratulations, class of 2024. Commencement is yours. May your adventures never cease. Now you begin. Nunc cepi. Thank you, and go Braves.
Under, you're ready to go. A1, B1, eyes on me, and go. Not bad. All right, take them around. Good, take them around. My speakers? All right. Next up, we have 3 students who are going to make an incredible ask of you, and I mentioned this earlier. This is one of the parts of our traditions that you don't see everywhere. But I encourage you to listen carefully to the kids. They're going to say it in 2 languages, but it's a gift that they're going to request of you, the audience of 2024. Do your thing.
Newton High School's graduation ceremony is a unique, time-honored tradition that celebrates the achievements of our entire class. In a few moments, we'll be receiving our diplomas. On behalf of the class of 2024, we kindly ask for your cooperation in maintaining the dignity of the ceremony by not yelling or cheering when your graduate's name is called. By holding your applause until all names have been announced, you ensure that every graduate's name will be clearly heard.
We understand your excitement and enthusiasm. We share those feelings with you. However, waiting to celebrate until the end helps us preserve the respect and honor that have defined Newton High School's graduation ceremony for many years. The greatest gift you can give us tonight is your consideration and thoughtfulness in upholding this tradition. Thank you for being here, for understanding, and for your cooperation. Your support means the world to us.
La ceremonia de graduación de Newton High School es una tradición especial que celebra los logros de nuestra promoción. En unos momentos recibiremos nuestros diplomas. En nombre de la promoción del 2024, les pedimos amablemente su cooperación para mantener esta ceremonia digna. Les rogamos no gritar ni aplaudir cuando se mencione el nombre de su graduado. Esperar para aplaudir hasta que se hayan anunciado todos los nombres. Asegura que el nombre de cada graduado se escuche claramente. Entendemos su entusiasmo y emoción. Compartimos estos mismos sentimientos con ustedes. Sin embargo, esperar para celebrar hasta el final nos ayuda a preservar el respeto y el honor que han caracterizado la ceremonia de graduación de Newton High School durante muchos años. El mayor regalo que nos pueden dar en esta noche es su consideración y cortesía, conservando esta tradición. Gracias por estar aquí, por su comprensión y por su cooperación. Su apoyo es muy valioso para nosotros. Mañana será bonito. Thank you so much. Gracias.
Ready? Emily Acosta Baradas.
Christian Aguilar Romero.
Cooper Roman Armstrong.
Rory Eileen Artrip.
Angelo Stefano Avila.
Zachary Taylor A's.
Alexa Catherine Belcaro.
Ryan Charles Beazold.
Abigail Elizabeth Biederman.
Emily Billick. Emily is receiving her diploma from Green Hills School District Board of Education members C.J. Billick and Marie Billick.
Elda Vermania Bino.
Gavin Isaac Blanchard. Carlos Alexis Bonilla.
Ariana Budram.
Nicole Sosmenia Borja.
Brielle Brady.
Jules Briones. Cassius Daniel Francis Brunel.
Cassius is receiving his diploma from class of 2024 advisor Carla Brunel. Ava Brisky.
Thomas Cloyd Carroll.
Christopher Noel Castillo Matut.
Avery Chimey.
Dominic Celli.
Jordana Ray Collins.
Kelsey Kalea Coffey.
Dylan Reese Cotter.
Olivia Durling Costello.
Logan Bruce Dangerfield.
Braden Dabrowski.
Dante Charles Delasanti.
James Delgado.
Owen Dietz.
James Kevin Detwiller.
Anthony Edginton.
Jacqueline Dominguez.
Jennifer Ann Ellsworth.
Madison Jessica Egner.
Mackenzie Ray Emanuel.
Bodie Elsiad.
Melissa Angie Fair.
Jazira Adanya Faines.
Emily Ferry.
Nicolette Ferdenzi.
Matthew James Finn.
Alano Festa.
Avery May Frank.
Diana Flamenco Menjivar.
Jeremy Allen Frazier.
Ariel Grace Brooklyn Franzoni.
Joseph Galante.
Henry Thomas Fung.
Mackenzie Faith Janung.
Anthony John Garin.
Katie Lynn Golder Ryan.
Brooke Lynn Girola.
Lily Rhea Gold.
Kasai Nasir Goritsky.
William Greenhall.
Harry Greenhall.
Antonia Guevara.
Bruno Thomas Groth.
Eliza Rose Halteman.
Asher Elkins Hyduke Dale. Asher is receiving his diploma for Green Hills School District Board of Education member Noah Hyduke Dale.
Ava Marie Hatch.
Drew Robert Harding.
Megan Almenia Henry.
Nicholas Hayes.
Donovan Herrera. Chef Martin from Sussex County Community College is presenting his culinary arts certificate.
Pedro Hernandez.
Michael Hudson.
Sierra Hind.
Riley James Kaler.
Natalia Ibera.
Emma Leslie Carr.
Michael Alexander Carpathios.
John Michael Christensen.
Kevin Kozlowski.
Julian Queselite.
Michael Karilko.
Tanner Leahy.
Tristan LaChance.
Denelson Lopez.
Jasmine Alexis Little del Puerto.
Francisco Lebrano.
Eliana Faith Lopez.
Semena Malpica Ceballos.
Brendan Michael Lynch.
Abril Munoz.
Kaylee Rosa Menguel.
Edgar J. Marrero Martinez.
Genesis Mariquin.
Orion Edward McGowan.
Jada Michelle Megna.
Shiv Atul Mehta.
Elizabeth Melendi.
Matthew Miller.
Edward Teddy Mills.
Heidi Munoz Tercios.
Anibe Noé Jean Pires Ntayi.
Felipe Campana Narvaez.
C.J. Nicholas.
Ryan Nickel.
Evan Parker.
Danielle Elise Penny.
Patrick Philip Petrone.
Melvin Peralta.
David Panetta.
Rachel Grace Porzilli.
Deasia Miranda Posey.
Manuel Ramirez Rodriguez.
Demarius Matthew Posey.
Jocelyn Marie Reynolds.
Dylan Thomas Reza.
Generex Rodriguez Castro.
Maria Rodriguez.
Ronnie Rodriguez.
Piper Russ.
Adelson Salam Choco.
Zachary Salib.
Jeremiah Samuel.
Derek Christopher Scholl.
Alexandra Skirbo.
Gabriella Skirbo.
Anna Carol Schlereth.
Adris Yaqub Sharafi.
Jordan Short.
Joshua Michael Siegel.
Emily Silva.
Gianna Simeone.
Xavier Smiley.
Dylan Smith.
Gabrielle Kyla Smith.
Kelsey Patricia Snellen.
Alana Soares.
Andrew Lee Steinberg.
Sierra Strasser.
Riley Nicole Struble.
Jesse Sitch.
Yassine Tabatabai.
Julian Tankel.
Jason Thomas Teets.
Matthew Michael Teets.
Patrick Allen Teets.
John Salvatore Tierney.
Oliverio Tiul Salam.
Ubaldo Tiul Choke.
Shay Valarosi.
Douglas Van Brunt.
Brianna Marie Velasquez.
Catherine Marie Vina. Matthew David Watson.
Harmony Walker.
Jaden Andre Fair Wright.
Claire Elizabeth Willis.
Michael Zukowski.
Savannah Grace Yerlaski.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present the Newton High School class of 2024.